It all started with a warning. In 1939, Albert Einstein and physicist Leo Szilard sent a letter to the President of the United States. They warned that Nazi Germany might be trying to build a weapon based on a new discovery, nuclear fission. If they succeeded, no one would be able to stop them. President Franklin D. Roosevelt read the letter and decided to act. What followed was the creation of the Manhattan Project, a top-secret billion-dollar effort to build the most powerful weapon in history. And at the center of it all was one man, J. Robert Oppenheimer, a theoretical physicist, a visionary, brilliant, restless, dangerous in all the ways that genius can be. Oppenheimer wasn't a soldier, he wasn't a politician, but he was obsessed with science and meaning. He accepted the role of scientific director and assembled the brightest minds of his time, Enrico Fermi, Niels Bohr, Richard Feynman, all brought together in the middle of nowhere, Los Alamos, New Mexico. They built labs, housing, workshops, and they worked under total secrecy. Their mission: unleash the energy hidden inside the nucleus of an atom and turn it into a weapon before Hitler could. They were racing against time. The uranium bomb was one path. The plutonium bomb was another, more complex, more unstable, but more powerful. They called it the gadget. Every gram of fissile material was precious. Every calculation had to be perfect, and no one knew if, once detonated, the reaction would stop. Some feared it might ignite the atmosphere. They ran the numbers. They launched the test anyway. On July 16, 1945, at 5:29 a.m. in the desert of New Mexico, the first atomic bomb in history was detonated. The test was code-named Trinity. A white flash brighter than the sun. The earth shook, the steel tower vanished, and then a rising mushroom cloud, the world's first glimpse of a new era. Oppenheimer watched in silence. Later, he quoted the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." 3 weeks later, the experiment became a weapon. On August 6, 1945, a B-29 bomber flew over Hiroshima. It dropped Little Boy, the uranium bomb. 3 days later, Nagasaki was hit with Fat Man, the plutonium bomb. Over 200,000 people died, instantly or from the effects that followed. 6 days later, Japan surrendered. World War II was over. The United States celebrated. But Oppenheimer did not. 2 months later, he met with President Truman and said something unforgettable. "Mr. President, I feel I have blood on my hands." Truman was furious. He later called Oppenheimer a crybaby scientist and never spoke to him again. As the Cold War began, Oppenheimer publicly opposed the creation of the hydrogen bomb, a weapon even more destructive than the ones dropped on Japan. That decision made him a threat. In 1954, during the height of anti-communist hysteria, Oppenheimer was accused of being disloyal. Despite all he had done for the country, his security clearance was revoked. He was cast out, silenced, erased from the very world he helped create. He spent the rest of his life in reflection on science, power, morality. He once said, "In some sort of crude sense which no vulgarity, no humor, no overstatement can quite extinguish, the physicists have known sin." Oppenheimer died in 1967, but the legacy of what he built still lives on. Today, 9 countries possess nuclear weapons. Over 13,000 warheads exist, many on high alert, ready to launch. It all began in a desert, with a test, and with a man who believed understanding physics was more important than controlling what came next.